No idea.
Yeah, no,
Why?
I'm sorry. Runny's makes me.
Well, over medium, they're still running.
I said not the whites.
Oh, running white. Yeah.
I like runny yolk. Hello, everybody. It is a beautiful
Tuesday. We were supposed to do this, and I couldn't do it yesterday because I was broken. Oh my God. I was in so much pain yesterday. It was bad. It was really bad. Oh, I came home from work, and I have plantar fascia.
for those of you who didn't know.
So my right foot, no, my left foot. I have it in both feet, but I have it worse in my left foot. And I've been suffering for like a week. And I've been, I take some Advil or take some Tylenol, alternating, and maybe drink a little bit of alcohol to numb it. Ooh, it's fine.
Back to work the next day.
For whatever reason, yesterday I must have aggravated the crud out of it because I got home and I was in pain like most of the day, but on the drive home, my foot started to literally throb to the point where I could feel like shooting pains through my toes an hour. The spiky bits go on the elbows.
Now I'm just trying to figure out which one is which.
No, I don't think so. On the other arm. That's this hand. And look at where the fist goes.
Yeah, I'm looking. That's hard.
Check the thumb.
Hi!
So anyhow, so I figured I'd lay down for like a half an hour. My alarm went in, so I'm like, all right, I gotta get up and I gotta make tacos. And I stood up, and just putting any pressure on my foot, I literally felt like someone was taking like a knife and just burying it to the hilt in my Taco Tuesday. Well, Burger Tuesday, and they'll be fine. And I was laying in bed, and I'm like, dumb dog got stepped on because they had to go and show their love the wrong way. Well, that's not the Blake Child. That is the Kender.
Oh, yeah.
Home from work. So,
sounds about right.
Did you make eggs for
no.
Kender as well?
I did not.
Okay. So, yeah, I sat there and I tried to literally hurt so bad. I had to lay back down and I couldn't get up to make food. I mean, we have turkey, we have ham, we have eggs. All right. So awesome. Everyone was like, no, D, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. So I was literally off my feet for 12 hours. I stayed off my feet for a full 12 hours with my feet She-Ra.
Blame me. I watched it when I was a kid.
A lot of adult elements to it. What there is it's not
like the last Airbender.
Well, and that's the whole thing. You've got
Nope, they actually did not market it for children. It's for teens and older. That's one of the reasons why. That's because it's Mattel and they're covering all their bases.
So, but anyhow,
it's interesting though. One of the episodes had me cracking up because it had all of the characters in their 80s outfits and even talking like their 80s counterparts. It was very amusing.
We are missing two things here. Oh, it's right there in front of you.
Yeah, but it has no water in it.
That's fine. I need water in it so I can paint.
Can you give me a minute?
No, you must do it now.
So anyway, here we are.
Yeah, so here we are. So,
currently I am because I'm not really doing too much painting at the moment, which is kind of sad, as I was gifted the... Hold on a second. We're unstable.
Kinda.
We're unstable, and you answer Kaiser's question.
Kinda. Hi, Kaiser. Kinda. The problem happens because I'm fat. And I'm trying to fix that. But I am a lot of meat to move around. And the new job has me working in a warehouse. And I wore a pair of dress shoes that were not fully broken in. And because the dress shoes were not fully broken in, they kind of aggravated my feet, which is fine. It's weird working an IT job where I'm mostly doing warehouse work. It's different for me, but it's cool. But part of it comes from the fact that I had that because I was out of work for 2 months. Honestly, I kind of got used to not being too busy. I'm thinking I got a couple too many things open. I'm going to quick close a couple of these extra apps that are here. So basically, I just aggravated the crap out of my feet by being on my feet much more than I have been for the last 2 months and not wearing the most comfortable shoes. It kind of aggravated the fascia. And I had to swap. I've been swapped to tennis shoes for the last week and a half. But I never really had enough time to really just let them chill out and heal. And unfortunately, once they aggravate, you got to just do something to get them to unaggravate. It's not one of those, oh, it'll go away on its own if you just do nothing. No, you gotta pamper them. It sucks when they get all swollen up like that. I haven't had a flare up in a couple of years.
Not like this, anyway.
Because I'm normally used to. Yeah. Well, actually, because I work in the warehouse, they're totally cool with just whatever. They made it clear.
Sun shoes.
Yeah. So I just wear a pair of really thick rubber sole with a huge cushion insole insert tennis shoe. They're leather tops, so they look fine and they work well for work.
And your work is totally chill.
They don't care. I mean, I've been wearing jeans the last few days. I don't really care. I don't meet with clients. I don't meet with outside people. I mainly work in a warehouse doing inventory, and so they don't really give a crap.
To which we are not going to go into that story today. But yes, so I've begun the process of creating my girls for my salamander regiment, as well as cementing part of their lore, which is actually kind of fun. And I have 2 things that I'm going to have to. I'm going to have him do a quick poll video on for a new shirt design. I just need to know which people prefer before I confirm which one goes onto it. The 2 logo designs, which one do people prefer more? The graphic one or the one I did?
Yeah.
Because one of them was created actually by somebody who does graphics, thank you, Henrik, and the other one was hand-drawn by me and colored in and whatnot. So I just want to see which stylistic, because they're very similar, but I just want to know which one people prefer. So that will be actually coming up soon. I have also, on my bench, been working on 2 commissions. One of them is for our dear Commodore. He wants a poster of his knights. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Because I'm not very good at mech yet. So there's going to be a lot of practice with that one. So Commodore, bear with me. Another one is the finalization of the picture that I started for my dear brother of the gods, Hail Odin, praised here. His space wolf. Why not both? Both to what? You want a poster of the Commodore. I've actually got one of those in the works. I will not lie. I actually have something where I'm trying to draw everybody as their Warhammer 40K persona that's going to go into this bloody comic that once I am comfortable drawing 40K armor, then you'll get to see that. Why not do both t-shirts design?
Because they're both very similar.
There's no reason to do both of them with how similar they are. What am I giving you?
Flat blue. It's the Vallejo blue, the bright blue that I use for all my stuff.
Yes, I know. That's the one that your child
uses. Yeah. And any white or off-white. I've got one here, never mind.
Okay, good, because that's not great.
I remember too.
Here's the off-white. So here's the second one. Okay, so I actually have a small little comic that I've storyboarded of he's not really the Commodore, he's the captain of the ship, but everyone just calls him the Commodore, and him being stalked by a member of the Inquisition who had a nervous breakdown and suffers brain damage.
I have this really great idea at some point.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody threatens him, his beard should pull a weapon on him.
Oh, and Dracta?
Just, or like the beard parts and an extra hand holding a gun pops out.
That's funny.
I keep squats in there.
Anyway, and then I have another one that I was recently given of a poster of for Art Nouveau. It's a 38 by 48 size painting of a lady on a chase lounge with her cats. So,
like real art. She's going to be painting this.
This is not a 40K one. I'm partially through. The only reason I'm not working on it right now is because this is technically a 40K night. So, yeah. So here I am working on my stand-in Bloodthirster that my darling husband printed for me as a thank you for taking care of the house and whatnot. My husband is it. He gets me gifts just because I'm awesome.
And I am working on minis for the first time in a week and a half.
Yes, you are. Finishing up your custodians?
Yeah. This just gives you an idea how much pain I was in, guys. I was in enough pain that I haven't picked up a brush or a glue or anything for like a week and a half. I have just been, my feet are just, when I'm in that much continuous, constant pain.
It's kind of like how I have to lay down and
I don't want to do anything. I sit here at my computer, I put on weird music, and I read and I read and I read because I can't focus on painting or building or anything because it just hurts. And I got to do something that just gets my mind. Because honestly, it's really weird. My painting, when I paint and I build, it's kind of like
it's tied in with his mental health. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it almost is mindless for me, but it lets my mind wander while I'm doing it. And when I'm in that much pain, if my mind wanders, it just immediately wanders to what hurts. So I'm not motivated to do artistic stuff. Yeah, it should be like a bolt pistol. The beard should part and just a hand to come out of it with a bolt pistol. Yeah, that would be hilarious.
You know, every single time I hear squats or I think about them, I think
there's a squat in there.
No, I think about that episode, that boxcast of Layman playing 20 Questions with the Drakari.
Yeah.
And he summoned the squat, summoned the orc, and they had no idea what the fuck. And then one of them said, "Just kill me now," and it went, "All right," and did. It's so funny, man. If you guys haven't watched that one, it's hilarious. Because it turns out that Magnus used to play that game with him all the time. But Magnus, being the psyker that he was, would cause the things that he was thinking of to manifest. So you kind of had a time limit. Apparently, Layman figured out how to do that. So when these idiots started asking a Primarch, what they thought was a silly children's game, well,
yes.
Is it powerful? relative. Relative to what? To you? Yes. Oh God, he's so. I'm like listening to him do that. Yes, and I'm like, oh, hey, look, you can see the brother resemblance.
Sit a day.
Oh no. Have I done that bad about Magnus?
Well, you do love the man so much.
That's a really like weird one.
Yeah, I want to get my hands on both the 30K figures for the two of them.
I may just kit bash myself and make a 40K version of Layman. Because there currently does not exist one.
Because he's stuck in the warp somewhere.
Oh, he's going to come back looking so awesome, man.
He's going to come back and be the new Redmayne. That's why they get rid of Redmayne's figure. Ha! Called it. Screw you, Mythos. You're not going to get Redmayne. You're going to get Layman. Redmayne's a figure he was complaining about the other day.
Yeah.
Because Redmayne used to have rules from Forge Roll. You'd roll a die and he could activate and turn into a giant werewolf. Magnus did nothing wrong.
Can we not back on this one?
Come on, he did nothing wrong.
Yeah, he did. He just didn't do everything wrong.
That's like blaming Lorgar.
He did do everything wrong.
No, that would be Erebus.
I'm walking away.
Oh,
I'm putting this thing on, and then I'm gonna go get my drawing pad and what guys get.
I have a friend of mine. Vulcan lives. I have a friend of mine.
The daughters of Vulcan will ride.
I have a friend of mine that's really trying to get a 30K game going, like get a camp. He's been trying forever to get a full. How are you getting on with Saga of the Beast? We didn't
get it.
We didn't buy Saga of the Beast. I have the only thing I have from Saga of the Beast,
courtesies of our beloved Meeks.
So I got this guy here. His head's in another box, but I'm working on him right now. I'm painting him entirely with inks. I'm trying some new stuff with him.
He's trying to see if he can mimic what I like to do.
And it's coming out really well. But I didn't get Saga the Beast. Couple reasons. I don't need infiltrators. I didn't want infiltrators. So I wanted Ragnar, but I didn't want the infiltrators. And as far as the orcs go, my initial army list really doesn't have Mega Knobs in it, although I kind of want Mega Knobs now. I have more than enough knobs. I have so many knobs. And that's the thing. I have so many knobs because I bought one, then I got another one in a deal on eBay, and I got another one through a deal on eBay. And so I've got knobs coming out of my nose. But I don't want gas. I have no use for gas. I play Death Skulls, and Gaz does nothing for me. He is a gorgeous figure. I don't want to take anything away from the figure. And if you're playing, what do you call it? If you're playing Goths, or you're playing a very melee heavy, orc army, he's really great. But I just couldn't see spending $170 on a box that has one figure I want, one set of figures that I would probably end up giving to my wife for her. At that point, she had been talking about doing the salamanders. 2 orc units that I'm not crazy about, and 1 orc unit that I would do.
Talking about.
Yeah, and an orc unit that I would be using only if I did some competition level painting. So realistically, I'd give it to her and let her do it as a competition piece.
So, as you guys are aware, we played a game over who would win the Indominus box, and it ended up determining that I won because I managed to put my poor sportsmanship aside and continue the game, despite the fact that it was looking very bleak for me. I managed to play in my very first 40K game an experienced player to a draw.
And I want to point out, and I want to be. Here's a big thing. For some people, that may not be a big deal. I love my wife, but one of the things that we have as an agreement was when we first started dating, we put down an agreement that we always, 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 before anything else, we have to be honest with each other, above and beyond anything else.
And
So things don't go unsaid, don't get packed away.
I am a very sore loser, and it is something I am working on very, very hard, which is one of the reasons why I haven't pushed so hard to complete any of my stuff. So
it's funny because she's not like super competitive either, but
I just don't like losing.
she doesn't like losing. It's a really weird thing, and one of the reasons I was really happy to get her into the hobby is because honestly, you're gonna lose a lot, even if you play your best.
And it's something I need to.
I consider myself to be a really, really good player,
I am.
and I lose
So
enough.
my darling husband, he bought me. So I've got a couple of. I put some together on Saturday because I really, really wanted to put some of them together. Because we have a series of videos coming up soon on creating a crusade, I am not allowed to paint any of them off camera because he thought it would be nice for you guys to be able to see exactly how my painting process goes because I'm not such a slapdash. Yeah, that's exactly it, Kaiser.
And that's the whole point I was trying to make to her. It's like, just play a few games. You're going to
so
lose.
we're going to play some more. I'm hoping to see if we can wrangle time to at least do like one match a week, just so I can get used to it. But so he gave me my salamanders, and then because we could, and we already knew this was going to happen, we have a second box.
Well, not that we already knew what's going to happen. I have been saving for Indominus.
Like crazy since we first got the hints that this was coming. So we got a second box, and there is one Necron in his box because the half of my box goes to Plague Child. That's their Necrons. There's one of them in there. I want him so bad because I just paint. I just don't know what thing I'm going to do. I may do him in oranges and blacks, make him very Halloween. Who knows?
But the Scorpic Lord. So she's going to take the Necrons. I've toyed with the idea of doing them, but in the end, because they don't really have much of an army, my Necron box is going to go. My half of Necron box is going to go to Plague Child as well.
Unless I gank some more, just so that I can. Of course, you knew that was going to happen, Commodore. You know us, and you were there when we made the purchase to get the second box. Anyway, so yes, I love doing showpieces. I like painting pieces for friends and sending them to them because for me, it's an act of love. Painting is an act of love for me. Now, that being said, there was a request to see what I am currently working on. This is the rough sketch of the painting I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
There we go. I kind of need a blueprint of what I'm going to be doing, and I need her to approve it before I start actually putting this onto the paint to it. But it's not going to be this. It's much, much bigger.
Yeah, this is going to be going painted on a canvas.
Actually, because she can't afford the canvas pieces, what she's doing to make it a little more cost effective for her, but she's still going to supply it, is going to give me a piece of foam core with a piece of matte board behind it.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. The colors for the whole thing is supposed to be black, red, and white. So Kaiser suggests that I should paint my Necron in the colors of our thing. Is there purple somewhere in there? Because that's your favorite color?
Well, GCD is. Mainly black with some white and red.
So, but yeah, no, I could totally do that. That'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do with
I'm
it.
not opposed to putting red in there. It's
Yeah.
my favorite color, if you guys can't tell.
Yeah, oh, that's the whole thing. It's one of those, the black background, and then, yeah, white with red edging. That's the way I did the letters. I don't mind red at all. I mean, I'm going back and forth on this paint scheme for my, I'm going back and forth on the paint scheme because I have my own Indominus box, and this will drive a lot of people crazy. I have not opened it yet. It's still got the plastic on it.
He refuses to open it until he can get caught up on the wolves that he still has to do.
Until these guys are all done.
And these guys, which is what you're seeing, I think is the last of your...
The last of my primary... Yes, this is the last of my custodies. Although I do have 6 more custodies, but those were a secondary project because I just wanted more sword and board guys. Because I want to be able to field 3 units of sword and board. So
once those 2 things are done, then he's going to break in. He's got the start of the Marine group that he wanted to do.
Yeah, they're going to have one group of...
He started prepping them. It was an idea that he had for a group of Marines he wanted to do.
So I started with them, and then I decided not to, and I was going to give her the figures. But then I realized I really want to do, and again, I gotta thank Conrad Baltha because he designed custom shoulder pads for me, knowing what I wanted the logo to look like. Because I want to do this box represents basically the last of the wolves I'm going to be doing. I think at that point I will have, that'll crest me over 5,000 points of wolves. And I say it'll be the last wolves I'm going to do, but that's a lie because here's a rhino, and I want to do at least a predator and Predator 2 or a Land Raider. I want a Land Raider really too. I want some old school stuff to go with my old school wolves. I definitely want a drop pod. But for the most part, I mean, a couple of vehicles, but that's about it. My wolves are done for dudes. Terminators. I need some Terminators too. But I mean, oh, that's because she's been so busy drawing, she hasn't been watching a lot of YouTube. You need to go to his channel. He's giving away a pair of unique pants. And I'm telling you right now, I am promising you this right now. If I win those Guilliman pants, you guys can hold me this. If I win those Guilliman pants, I will wear them during the first live stream I do after I receive those pants. I will wear them. Point blank. Knowledge advantage giveaway. She's gonna look for it and get in there. Because he's giving away a few things, but one of them is a pair of Guilliman pants.
Ooh,
well, yeah. He's one of the reasons I want to get that Flames of War box. I have an opportunity to buy a Flames of War starter box for $50 American. That's not a lot of money for an entire... Ben, if I get the Guilliman pants, I will wear them to Saturday morning SmackDown. I will wear them to Saturday morning SmackDown. I will happily. And I'll even bring... Yes, they're special pants.
I just saw them. That's what that response was.
And the best part about it is because the pants, I believe, come with the mug. If the pants come with the mug, which I believe they do. I don't know if they do or not, but I believe they do. And if they come with the mug, I will bring the mug to Saturday morning SmackDown. So instead of having tea or coffee or soda, I will make sure that they fill it with beer. because that is what is proper in a mug like that. Beer. There's nothing better than 9 a.m. Warhammer
with beer.
With beer. I'm telling you, it's the best. It's the best Saturday ever. So, yeah, they do. I know. It's good beer. It's very good beer. I mean, I had their Belgian ale, which I think that's not when they brew their own, but I had their house brew. But man, they had their. Okay, here's the thing. I was stationed in Germany. People know I'm an Army vet. I was stationed in Germany for a few months. Man, I got really addicted to really bright. And if you're a beer drinker, you're going to know the terms I'm talking about here. I really got into liking very.
Right, sir, I'm going to have to watch this after the show because he's very loud.
I really got into liking bright Pilsners. I like them very bright, very blonde, little hoppy, kind of sharp. I love that. I love a good German Pilsner. If you're familiar with, common brands, Grolsch is probably, if you're familiar with Grolsch, that is probably my number one favorite beer. I think after Grolsch, Harp is probably my other favorite beer. Yeah, German, and that's the thing. When you get it when you get it at a beer house, in Germany, when you get their house brew, yeah, it's freaking strong. I mean, beer in a whole is strong over there. Holy crap, it's like a weak wine. It's so strong, and I loved it. But the problem is you can only get it so strong here in the States. I think the strongest you can get beer legally, I mean, you can get people that brew their own beer that can make it stronger, but I think 8.5 is, Spaten. Not gonna lie, I love Spaten. I do love Spaten. I like Grolsch better, but Spaten is like right there. So yeah, I mean, I like beer. And my wife will attest. What do I not like in beer?
Sweet.
American.
That's not beer.
Yeah, I mean, there's. Hey, what's up, Pale Orc? Dude, I'm gonna come to it in a minute. I want to talk to you about your Stompa, dude. That thing is just amazing. I saw the paint job you did. So cool. I know it's not done, but still really cool. I got to get working on mine. I'm not gonna get it done in time. I just without working on any minis for like a week and a half.
Speaking of those really badass pants, man, those are awesome.
Yeah. Weather pig. What's a pig?
I'm just gonna toss this out there. I'm just throwing this out there because the pants thing. And as I'm sitting here drawing, it came to mind. How would you people like masks with like your favorite faction logos on them?
I don't think it'd be cool, so. I think you'd run. Yeah, I think the problem is I think you run into copyright problems.
Ah, but see, here's the thing: is I'm not selling them commercially. Does somebody want one? Yes. Oh, I'm just going to pay you for the material so you can make me one.
That's a true point.
It's the same how I was. Okay, I do not do the mass commercial thing. I love sewing things. I love creating things. If you guys haven't figured it out, and like I want to make him a Pecker's quilt. And he's like, I just know that if I post this quilt up, people will be like, oh, can you make me one? I would love to. You have to pay me for the materials.
Because they're expensive.
Yeah, because unfortunately, licensed material is not cheap. But anyway, it was just an idea. Sorry.
Which is why I want to actually buy. I saw somebody wearing them. I saw a guy my size on 40K in 30 minutes wearing a pair of yoga pants, except they were the ones that were to look like the Harlequins.
Oh, those ones, yes.
Yes. They make Space Wolf ones.
I know.
I want a pair.
Yeah, you have fun with that. I can't think so.
No. I want to buy them. And I want to buy the Lehman Russ jersey, because they have a hockey jersey for Lehman Russ. But anyhow, but But here's the thing. So like I like bright beers. I don't like American beers for the most part, except
He does like Pabst and does like Spotted Cow.
I like Pabst. I got a taste for Pabst because it was actually the first beer I really drank. And I got a taste for Pabst when I was working at Pabst because I used to work at the brewery here in town, and I got a taste for Pabst when I was working at there. And I like Spotted Cow. Spotted Cow, you can't get anywhere but Wisconsin, and it's a damn shame. Because I was actually thinking about trying to send a 6-pack out to my winner, and I was told I couldn't and get in trouble, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, damn it. Because I really thought about, because my winner was a UK winner.
Oh,
I'm like,
Nate's here.
oh no, it's Big D. Hey, Nate. I know my winner was a UK winner at CW War Games. I wanted to send him a 6-pack of Spotted Cow, straight from the US, something to help you with your painting. Because I'll tell you, when you're just sitting painting, there's really nothing better than just having, not a heavy alcoholic drink, but just a nice beer, or a nice, as you guys call them in the UK, an Elko Pop. Nice Elko Pop. We Smirnoffs here in the States. And then I said one of them just having sip on while you're painting. Just to kind of loosen things up and keep
Unless you're painting with me, then you might want to.
You don't give her none, because she'll be like done.
1 tequila, 2 tequila, no, 1 tequila, 4.
Yeah, see, it's the thing. I worked at Pabst, so I don't mind Pabst at all. Like, it's also when I was a wee lad, because Pabst was here in town, and I grew up in the 70s and 80s when Pabst was in the United States. Everyone knows about Miller and Budweiser because they're the number 1 and number 2 beers in the country. When I was a kid, they were down the list. The number 1 beer in this country when I was a kid was Blatz, and the number 2 beer was Pabst. And what happened was both of those companies were family-owned companies for like 100+ years. Emil Blatz, the last of the Pabst line, he died, and nobody in the family was able or willing to run the business. So Pabst, because they were like 4 blocks away from, you can stand in one part of Milwaukee when both buildings are still up. You can stand and see both of their 2 grain towers with the big logo on it right near each other. When Blatz decided to sell, Pabst was the winning bid. And then what happened was that when they won the bid, I'm not picking at myself, I've got a thing stuck on my hands. When Pabst won the bid, Coors, Miller, and Budweiser, remember Hams, Pabst brews Hams. Hams and Pabst are the exact same beer. I've seen it. It's the exact same beer. They just put it in different cans. Weird little fact that you find out when you're working at a brewery. Anyhow, so they were buying. The 3 of them combined and filed an antitrust lawsuit against Pabst, claiming that if the number 2 brewery bought the number 1 brewery, they'd effectively have a monopoly, and they would push them out of business. And so they got locked up in courts for like a decade or so, because Emil Blatz died in like 82 or 83. They filed the lawsuit, and that lawsuit didn't get settled until like 91. And the problem was that by the time the lawsuit was settled, because there was an antitrust lawsuit, a lot of Pabst's assets were frozen. So all the money they threw in the Blatz, they couldn't touch. They couldn't touch the Blatz name or any of the stuff they had there. So they just kind of got stuck. And then when they finally got around to working on the lawsuit, because of advertising revenue and everything else, Budweiser, Coors, and Miller had already gotten themselves so far up in the market share. They did, but they didn't before then. That was the funny thing. When they locked down Pabst, they basically threw all that money into advertising. They became real big for sponsoring the Super Bowl, and and basically all these other beer companies came up and they said, no, it's not antitrust. We can buy each other out. It's all fine. And so the sale went through. 10 years later. By that point, Pabst was mostly insolvent, and they got bought by a South African holding company that bought Pabst and Hams and Olympia, and they bought all these other smaller breweries. So the big three that were here in town, Blatz, Schlitz, and Pabst, were already under one house. And then this company bought these other smaller breweries and just put them all in one company. And basically the only difference between any of those beers was what day of the week it was, so they knew which cans to run through, but they were all the same beer. So Hams, Olympia, Pabst, Blatz, Schlitz, Red, White, and Blue, Ice House. These are all the same beers.
There's a beer called Ice House.
Yeah, there's a beer called Ice House. There's a beer called Ice House. Jacob Best. There's a whole bunch of them, and I found this out working at the brewery. But basically, they're all the same beer. It just depends what can they're running that day.
I giggle because there's a campground in California. It's called Ice House.
So it was really interesting. I learned a lot about the brewery industry there. It was really cool because I was working security at the time. Right after I got out of the military, I got a job there working security, 12 on, 12 off, 3 days a week. It was great. I worked basically Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night.
The free beer you could want.
And yeah, I basically, well, not all the free beer I could want, but one of the perks of working there was I got a monthly voucher that I could go over to the depot and they'd hand me a case of beer.
Yep.
So that was just one of the.
How do you think Vicky stayed in how she kept so many beers in her house? Her son was became a driver.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird company perk. I thought it was really cool.
Building Marines, going to make paints, going to get paints. What kind of Marines are you making, Mike? Sorry, I've
finished my conversation. I finished my thing about beer. Yeah. Like I said, I just like beer. So I think it's silver now. That natural silver that's just out the end of the natural steel.
That's a really steel.
That's fine.
Minotaurs.
You're doing them as Minotaurs. Very cool. I don't need that much. I'm just doing a couple of blades. Minotaurs are cool.
What are the Minotaurs?
They are a successor chapter.
No shit.
They're the Minotaurs.
Who are they successors of? What do they do? Do you even know?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I know who they are, but
all right, that answered my question. I'll figure it out myself, please. Oh, right.
If I remember right, the Minotaurs are not Imperial Fist. Are they an Iron Hands successor chapter, or are they Ultramarines?
They're basically Spartans.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, no, they that's their whole gig. They're basically Spartans. Who are they a successor chapter of, though?
I'll find out.
Look at you. Oh, it hasn't been sated. Yeah, I mean, that's very true. That's very true. On the other hand, my custom chapter that I'm doing,
Oh, they're a chimeric gene seed. Okay.
so they're a couple.
Yeah.
Babies.
That was what they were talking to me about when I said I was putting up that I was creating my own successor chapters, that they have these chimeric ones, which were an experiment where they tried combining elements from different gene seeds together to create a unique strand, and it's either a hit or miss.
That's kind of what my guys started off as conceptually.
Yeah, and that's what they were talking about with me is, what would be interesting is if they started off is, their gene seed was world eaters, iron warriors. Okay. The strong shall live, the weak shall die. Fuck off. So they're very world eaters, iron warriors, but they're loyalists?
Yeah.
Cool. I want to make Antonio into a loyalist thousand son that managed to survive and avoid what happened to Prospero.
Oh, you mean the Blood Ravens?
Oh, is that what they are?
That's what they are. It isn't explicitly said, but it's basically inferred that the Blood Ravens are the thousand sons that stayed loyal.
Weird. Aren't those members of the Dark Angels?
No.
No.
No, they're the Blood Ravens. They're the guys from the.
My mix!
They're the guys from the video game.
Yeah, well, I've seen actual paint schemes for them.
Yeah, they look like Blood Angels.
That's what, but the only difference between them is their symbol is slightly different. And unlike other Blood Angels, they're all nothing but psychers.
They're not all psychers. They have a lot of psychers. And the other thing is that they have cream color with their red. They have a lot of cream-colored overtones with their red. It's like reds and creams.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the interesting thing is my custom guys, I'm going to run them rules-wise. I'm going to run them specifically as an Iron Hand successor. But honestly, they're chimeric because they're like an Iron Hand's Emperor's Children hybrid.
With a little bit of Arabic Persian flavor.
Like I said, Emperor's Children.
To which I had to explain to him that learning the Arabic saying, that
I don't want to offend anybody.
the Arabic of the emperor is great instead of Allah Akbar, and it should be Emperor Akbar. And I'm just going, that's going to offend someone.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody.
He thinks it's funny, and it's all, and yep, and almost every other chapter hate them because they are so violent and
Thoroughly,
they're
aren't
better than the Templars because nobody freaking likes the Templars.
Minotaurs are they're more violent.
So the Templars are looking at them going, dudes, relax. Deep breath in with the good air.
Because here's the thing. The Templars are all about religious purity. The Minotaurs are like, bitch, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, with our cats!
Bitch, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, so I got a cat whose name is Murder Mittens. Some of you who have watched Frost and Fist may have seen her because I put it on in the bedroom and she was very intent on watching it. I think she was trying to figure out where the voice for coming.
Bitch, I'm going to kill you.
But every once in a while she turns, or her sister will turn and look at you, like, especially this guy here, he gets looks where...
Because I shove him out of my way. I shove him out of my way.
Gets on the he gets on the bed and Wasabi will literally turn and meow at him and look at him like, bitch, I will cut you. I will kill you in your sleep.
I'm like, you're in my spot, move. They don't move, so I just lay on them.
Oh, that's so awesome, Weather Pig. He knows a guy that just opened a small hobby store.
That is awesome to hear. Give him all your money.
As much as you can.
No, just give him all your money. Sell your parents. You'll be fine. Who lives with his parents?
You know, I would try to sell my parents, but I think they might give my dad back. For those of you who don't know, the High Lords of Terra say you gotta die, entire planet. It's annihilated. So for those of you who don't know, my dad is a quadriplegic. His neck was broken in 3 spots back in 2009 when a lady pulled left in front of him while he was on his motorcycle. Doctors say he was lucky to be alive. My mom takes care of him. Yes, my dad can walk. As a matter of fact, they gave him back his driver's license, which still to this day scares me. I'd like to point this out. But my dad is a brat.
And he's a brat stealing thief. You stole my brat.
It was actually really funny. He just walked up and snaked it and walked, shuffle. Like, okay.
No, he was cute about it because he first asked, "Oh, can I have one of those?" Of course, Dad, I'll give you one. And I got him one, put on a plate, and got it to him. And by the time I turned around with the plate, there was already 2 from the pot gone. And he was just shuffling back to his room. Rod stealing thief. I love this man. He is.
He's pretty awesome. To kind of explain his injury and why I say he shuffles, he has the exact same injury on his spine that put the late Christopher Reeves in a wheelchair for the rest of his life and ultimately was responsible for his death. My dad can walk, though. Thus far, my dad's better than Superman. Just saying. Every little kid thinks their dad's Superman. Well, mine's dad's better. Anyway, there was a point where he was being a brat to my mother, who is his primary caretaker, and she turned and looked at him. She went, "I will smother you with that pillow, and there is nothing you can do about it." His response to her, because she was on the phone talking, because she was folding laundry, so she's on speaker with her best friend, Janice, who I've known my entire life. She's like my aunt. And my dad goes, "I'll tell Janice. She'll defend me." And Janice starts laughing on the phone, and I'm standing in the room because I'm shuffling, people's laundry into rooms at the time I was living with them. And I hear Janice start laughing, and my mom goes, "Please, she's going to be the one holding you down." Which episode was that?
Which?
When I was in the bedroom and I put I was on Frost and Fist and I put it on in the bedroom comment that I made with the mittens. I don't remember which one it is, in all honesty. I'll have to ask.
Well, you weren't actually on the show when you did.
No, I wasn't on the show. I was chatting with them, but
there's a really cute picture that you put out there. I thought you put on your Insta.
I don't know if I actually put it up on.
You need to put it on your Insta. There's a picture of our cat up on the screen that's just hilarious.
Yeah, it's freaking great. So anyway, my mom laughs and tells my dad, my Aunt Janice is going to be holding him down. And so my dad sits there for a second. He looks at me and I'm like, "No, what do you mean, man? I'm not in this." Turns and looks at my mom and goes, "I'll call your mom. She likes me better."
Her dad's a hoot.
Oh my God. And I just turned around and walked out of the room. I was like, "I am not in this." My dad is I made dinner once, and this man looked at the plate I handed him. This man has 13 grandchildren. 3 of his grandchildren are in their 20s. Remember this. I'm the second youngest kid. I hand him his plate of dinner. What's that? They're green beans. Why did you put those on my plate? Because you need veggies. Well, I don't like green beans. Since when? This is a man who forced me to eat green beans most of my childhood. He goes, "Just now." And I'm like, "This is revenge for all those times I refused to eat them, isn't it?" And he just griped at me and I walked out of the room. I was like, "Screw you, old man."
stole my brats.
I'm still happy about it. And then my grandfather walks in and goes, "Ooh, are those brats?"
Told you we should have gotten 2 packs. Why didn't think anybody would know what they were?
They were the only ones we had. No.
No, they weren't.
No.
I would have gotten more than one if they were the only ones that had any.
Zane, you must have not been paying attention to Discord, my love. Somebody had a aggravated plantar fascia that caused his blood to swell and extreme amounts of pain, which is why we did not have a stream yesterday, but we are doing it today. Long story short, no, you can't have pictures. I'm just going to head that one off before it even comes out of your mouth. But yeah, Zane's one of the ones that I'm going to be drawing for this comic, except for because nobody knows what Zane actually looks like.
It's just going to be a hat with a coat and a really big grin. It's going to look like Orko crossed with a commissar. Yeah.
He's an inquisitor.
Whatever.
I was going to put him with a...
But that's the whole thing. Commissars are part of the inquisitorial. That's the whole thing.
No.
He's Inquisitor Zane. Commissar then, whatever. I don't care.
You don't have a commissar.
We should have nothing on him actually visible. Other than his feet.
And the only time you ever see him, because I'm going to do him like the Psyker from Astartes, where he's got the full face mask, but he's got a hood that's pulled down. And every once in a while, you'll see the big, like, anime watery eyes. What I am drawing, because you were not here earlier, this is actually a commission piece that I was given by a coworker. She is paying me $200 to translate this picture, once it meets her approval, onto a 38 by 48 canvas, effectively, where I will paint it in acrylic. I will probably try to do, I'll probably be recording that, possibly, very likely, as I'm doing it. We had jokes about me putting on a Twitch.
Yeah, we have no idea, Zane.
I know you're not my grandmother, Zane. For one reason alone. I have one grandmother who is still alive. And let me tell you, you are nothing like her.
My grandmother...
It's like a crappy household in the streets.
My grandmother had a thing for tea.
To which I found the brand of tea that she used to drink.
But there would be half-finished cups of tea. Because she was a little fuzzy at times and would forget.
This is also a woman who, in the middle of a conversation, would switch between multiple languages.
Oh my God, it was so... That'd be a thing. She spoke...
7?
No, she spoke like a dozen languages. Yeah, she spoke a ton of languages. So, and even though she was raised in Russia, Russian wasn't her first language. Her actual first language was French. So...
That's actually pretty easy to learn.
But that's what I'm saying. As a child, she spoke French first, then Russian, and then English. Before she was 4, she was already fluent in 3 languages. I mean, that's the when you're that rich.
Duchess.
Kind of, yeah, the equivalent, yeah.
Plague Child is actually currently
Dead. I ate her.
He is.
Yes, they do, Al.
He actually is with a couple of friends right now. One of his best friends' father passed away 2 nights ago, lost his battle against cancer. And so the Plague Child has been sticking pretty close to that family. The funeral was today, so I don't know if they'll be back today or not. for the most part, I'm giving them a little bit of leeway for being with their friend and whatnot.
And yes, exactly. That's the thing. Our grandmother was raised in Russian aristocracy. Mine and Alex, our grandmother was raised in Russian aristocracy.
I got a picture of the lovely lady.
She had a French nanny, and she spoke. By the time she was 4, she spoke French, Russian, and English.
That
fluently.
actually sounds quite lovely right now. I want iced tea though, because unfortunately I'm a little too American.
I could go for another one of those.
Do you want me to go grab you the last one?
Yes.
Thank you, by the way, for the comment of the picture.
So yeah. So what's on the bench is, like I said, I'm working on. I mean, we got to get back to. Hang on. No, I can't even go back to that topic because I got to go back to Pale Orc. Dude, I saw your Stampa. I have the great idea for a Stampa now because of seeing yours. I actually have some really great legs for it, and I have guns for it, but I just haven't had time to work on it because I'm trying to get these other armies done. I actually have a ton of orc stuff to paint, but I want to finish my Custodes. I have 4 figures left to finish my Custodes proper. I have another 6, but those aren't proper. I don't need those right now. Those are just those I get to them as I get to them. But I've got 4 of these guys left, and if you're wondering where his stomp would be, you need to go to the Pale Orcs channel and check out him on Instagram and check him out in the IDIC beer group. His freaking stomp is amazing. This man kit bashed from cardboard.
Oh, that's right.
This entire Stampa.
Oh, it was so cool.
And the hilarious thing about this Stampa is the one thing it doesn't have. It's called a Stampa. And the one thing it can't do is stomp because it has no feet.
Pale Orc?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the chat. Well,
yeah, he's here. Yeah, he doesn't have. It doesn't have feet. It has treads. It has giant treads. It is hilarious looking, and it has a "Hi, I'm happy to meet you. Are you happy to meet me?" Or is that a gun in your front port there? Cannon as its main gun. It's hilarious. Go to Instagram, check out the Pale Orc. It's awesome. I love this thing.
Why didn't you say
Now you'll see why. I was sending all this stuff because I wanted you to look at different paint schemes for stuff and paint ideas that you could change the colors to your greens to how they're doing them.
By the way, just to let you know,
I know. I want to make sure you wanted that.
Oh my god. All right. So those are very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sorry, I'm posting up a picture of my psychotic cat.
Well, that's the thing. I'm going to be using my personal favorite primary product for its body when I build my Stampa. Which, drumroll, does my wife know what my favorite building material is?
Foam.
I'm going to make them out of foam core. I'm going to make the body out of foam core with resin guns. Although I was thinking about, because I'd seen somebody do this, somebody went and got a 7-inch tall flower pot, plastic flower pot, and used that for the body. Can you imagine how outraged the Kender would be if I took a flower pot and turned it into a figure?
No, he's not at full resin.
I've seen the Mr. Potato Head one, which I think is hilarious. But nah. The problem is I've seen too many of them. I've seen too many people do a Mr. Potato Head conversion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it look like somebody built, the orcs, I should say, stole a knight. Yes. I'm going to make it look like the orcs stole a knight and then put pieces over it to turn it into a Stampa. So it's going to have, I'm going to have it using knight feet. Also, if you hand me my box. Yeah, I saw the hand cut rivets. I'm actually got these perfect little stickers that are just tiny little dots that I'm going to be using those for rivets. Because the idea is to make the body like a solid piece and then cut chipboard up and then just plaster the whole thing in pieces of randomly cut squares and trapezoids and pieces, just shapes of stock, and just put them on there and then rivet them in place.
Cute and cuddly. There's the gaming table. The coin that I lost.
Yeah. So, anyhow, so that's, I want to get back to that. So what's on the table? Like I said, I'm trying to finish up these last couple guys. I got a box of wolves I got to finish. And when I finally finish all of those, then I'm going to break into my Indominus box, and I will start painting my Celestial Dragons, which is the name of my custom chapter. I have been debating the paint scheme, and I've redesigned it 3 or 4 times. And at this point, because I made a decision, because I want my Celestial Dragons the nail art rhinestones, instead of going to, you're in Australia though, I don't know if they have them there. Do you have a Michael's? Because
Little craft store or any place that does scrapbooking.
And you'll find them there in bigger sheets for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, they're tiny little gems. That's all they are. They're tiny little gems that are sold for scrapbooking.
And you can get sheets of them.
You can get them in pearl. You can get them faceted.
I actually got the big pearl ones at one point because I use them for bubbles on my Death Guard bases and stuff.
Yes. They're very cool because they make a really good bubble for bases that have, you know, if you want something that looks like it.
Do you have one of your lava bases with the bubbles in it?
Negative. The only one that I did that on, I don't even know how it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't normally have that much lava showing.
Right, but there's one of them that you did it specifically for.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is.
You know what I think it was? It's your girl. Your wing girl has that base.
No, she doesn't.
Okay. So hand me that box.
Okay.
Ah. Now the other thing, I got a box from Russia.
Which was really funny because he was trying to figure out what the hell it was.
I'm like, why is the box coming from Russia?
And instead of being concerned, the man opened it.
It was addressed specifically to me.
No,
so
there are a secret.
So I knew it was coming from me. And I'm like, but I don't have anything. What do I have coming from Russia? Because I completely forgot. You may remember a few months back, I was talking about Technolog, which is a Russian model brand that's basically their knockoff. Doesn't look like 40K, but basically it's a 40K game/toy brand that you can get pieces for super cheap. Well, and the box showed up just out of the random blue. This is supposed to have arrived like 2 months ago, but because of COVID, yeah, it got lost in the mail or got hung up at what do you call it, in customs. So I finally got it like this past weekend.
Yes. And I finally got the present that Cinedave sent me. I got a mystery gift, the Dark Elf Trooper. And you know the best part about it? When I was looking at it, I'm like, this is very interesting. It's a Raging Heroes.
So,
okay, I'm back to actually dedicating. I don't have time to mess with stuff.
I don't have time.
I have too many things to do. I gotta finish that one.
I booked the shit.
I do that to our pit bull whenever we play tug of war. If I can get him up to me like this, if I can get the thing, I boot the snoot. And I always go, I'm gonna boot the snoot. I'm gonna boot the snoot. And sometimes he'll let go before I can touch his nose because he's like, oh hell no, I don't know what this means. I think he's a little depressed.
No, he's just tired.
He's not handling. He doesn't like heat very much, but he doesn't like being alone. So when I'm home, he likes to hang out next to me. As a matter of fact, he has to get kicked out of our bed every night because he'll go to bed when I do and sleeps in his spot.
Get the hell out. Thank you for showing up, Kaiser. I always appreciate. You're always an interesting conversationalist. I appreciate that about you. I'm sorry you didn't come by last week on Saturday when we did the UK stream. So
something must have just come up.
I know. But I was disappointed because I really wanted to talk to him. He's so nice. Unlike Ben, who's mean and isn't going to be there on Saturday.
He's not being there this Saturday? So why did we go?
Oh my goodness. You guys are going back to full lockdown. Oh jeez. Second wave hit you guys, huh?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's starting here.
Yeah. And our lovely politicians are like
fake news. We are Americans. We will hammer through this.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot about the technical and stuff when it showed up. I was like, yay, what is it? I didn't, because somebody else found it and thought I had ordered it from an alternate miniature source. Without asking. It's like, what did you get me? You got alternate miniatures from Russia. I'm like, no.
That's okay because I need to pick up a different brain. Mine won't stay put together.
No, she's fine. She just needs a new head. She just needs a new head. The rest of the body looks great.
She's missing pieces off of it that I lost while I was putting her together.
I have to get you a new year brain. Full new year brain.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get you accounts ads. We'll find some cool Raging Heroes or some cool other company. I don't know, creature caster looking figure. Do accounts ads your brain.
We shall see.
I said it would be cool. I wouldn't just get you like some, here's a Lego figure, paint her up. I wouldn't get you something like that.
You know, that'd be fun.
Somebody did a set of Lego Marines.
I know, I saw them.
They're hilarious. They're regular Marines, but all the heads are the Lego heads. That shit's funny. Everything's funny. You know, and that's it's going back to work. That's the other thing that's been I got used to not being at work. I like work. Don't get me wrong. I like work. She'll tell you. I like having a job. I like going to work. I like getting out of the house. Like, if I had spent too many days in a row in the house here, I'd be like, we got to go for a drive. We don't have to stop anywhere, but we got to get the hell out of this house.
To which, after that, he gets a, did you do the laundry like I asked you to? And then I get up.
No, because I painted 30 figures.
Did you take out the trash like I asked?
Yes. I take out the trash. I do it all the time. Even when I was like that.
You would just forget to do it. It's like overflowing, honey. Oh yeah, sorry.
But
this house would fall apart if I was not.
I need the slave driver. I really do. Because she keeps me in line. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with her nagging me and you need to do this. Okay, I go do it. Because I don't complain about doing it when I have to go do it. I get engrossed on things. Some people in this house switch channels like I get onto a channel and don't move the dial.
We are not sponsored by them at all. However, a comment is being made that when this is given to me, 1, I vibrate across the ground. 2, I don't sleep. And 3, oh no, I dial in and I'm not dialing out.
So you should stop drinking that until then.
Nope.
Okay.
I started drinking it after 6.
You should cap it and stop drinking.
That's why I've got. This is the second of the water.
Are you seriously playing with a can?
Yeah. So I got accustomed to not being at work. You spend 2.5 months sitting at the bench,
Not moving.
and you get accustomed.
To a certain lifestyle.
You get accustomed to mini life. Like, it becomes everything. Mini life is it's there. And now I've got all these minis that I'm half done with, and I can't work on them. And I have three terrain pieces that I'm working on that I can't get accustomed to and get finished. And the problem is that I'm trying to put together content videos where I do tutorials. And because I was out of work for 2.5 months, I got so accustomed to not being at work. I come home from work and I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'm done. I used all my energy today. I can't people no more. And it's weird. It's real weird.
And this is why I want to take over as basically a production manager.
Because I got to get some stuff done.
Understatement? Yes. Let's go with that.
Because I got a gate I got to finish.
Yep.
That I still got to redraw the designs for because they didn't work yet. I have a piece of terrain I'm just building for myself, just for me to put on my table.
Works.
I got the orc terrain. 4 terrain pieces I forgot about. I have a piece of terrain I'm just building for myself. I have my orc / scrap / sprue terrain that I want to finish up. And I don't know. I'm finding it hard to focus on things because that's why I'm just trying to knock these little projects out of the way. Yeah. Yeah. See, it's the thing. Not having the schedule, I would make my schedule. I would get up. I'd get her up for work. Or I'd come in here, and I'd start building and then painting. And that's why I was able to do 97 figures in a single week.
Why is Zane fighting with his multiple personalities again?
Because Zane in the main brain.
Zane, behave or you're going to have a repeat of what happened to your main account. And that's how we know that they're the same person, because that never went through. Zane, you do not need to make a persona every single time you are feeling lonely.
You're here with us.
What's wrong? That's because people are listening to us.
Right.
Yeah,
You know, the people hosting the show and talking.
keep it up, and I'm not going to make you that sexy figure that I was thinking about making for you.
It's not a very interactive chair. That's just the way it is. That's okay. So I've got a game coming up this Sunday.
There has been some talk about attempting to live stream that.
No.
Oh, no?
No, I don't think I want to live stream it. I actually want to. No. I don't want to live stream it. I want to film it. And then, edit it down into like a 30-minute video. Or less.
I still like the idea I have for a battle report. I want to do a full battle report where we film the whole thing once we get better lighting and camera system in place, where we then take the whole thing and then speed it up. Each round, we speed them up and play the Benny Hill theme song. And then you get this, okay, points this, go.
Yeah.
He does not like this idea. I think
Not
it
at
would be funny as hell.
I'll tell you what, I'll get a battle report between you and Plague Child, and I'll do it that way.
I don't know why he's so against me using the Benny Hill theme song and just speeding shit up. I think it would be funny.
I know. I know you think it would be funny.
And I bet you Zane thinks it's funny too.
Zane thinks he's funny.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Remember, he gives us money.
I am funny. I am an adult.
It's kind of the phrase I heard. I'm starting to think Zane has more personalities than Alucard does.
I don't know if that's him or not. Yak and Sex is funny, and I think in the right perspective, it can be funny. I mean, doing a painting video. Here's my speed paint. That would be funny. That's funny to me. A battle report is a teaching situation.
Well, in that case, we're not teaching. We're just going, hey, guys, guess what?
See, I can see doing that with like a, I don't know.
Remember, you were supposed to do 40K in 40 seconds?
Well, yeah, if I was doing it as a,
Zane, I would like to point out, this is probably the reason why your main account got banned from our channel.
that is a point. All right.
So I'm thinking maybe you should stop taunting the algorithm, because I'm pretty sure it thinks you're botting. You can also get us shut down because it thinks that we're trying to boost our numbers by botting.
True.
And there it went.
True statement.
And as much as I adore you, Zane, I like my channel, and I don't want to get nailed for botting.
So we're at the hour-and-a-half mark. So our typical Taco Tuesday, although it's on Wednesday, we'll be wrapping up to the show for tonight. So, thoughts on Indominus? Since you've actually opened it up and built figures and messed with some, what do you think of the actual?
So one of the things that I want to say to any of you darlings out there, if you have not yet built your Indominus bikers, they're a little fit. They're not really fiddly, but there is a very set order that they have to be done in, and there are pegs that they use to hold things in place. So it's very much like one of the snap-togethers, no glue necessary. The feet on these guys here, they have little studs that go, little posts that'll go into a, hole. They don't line up very well, so you have to be very careful when you're putting these panels on. So that's the big thing. We had a brand new person actually put one of them together. She put together the commander, the captain on it, and
I have to pull the head off.
yeah, whatever. It's nice. But she did a really good
she did
job.
a great job on it.
You might not want to do that unless you've already done that, then, because those pegs I found are actually kind of helpful. We're going to get trouble one of these days. Anyway, the instructions are also kind of crazy because they go like this. They don't go side to side like they used to.
And they're not numbered, are they?
They are.
So you got to follow numbers.
Yes. Okay, so yeah.
Ooh, Age of Sigmar battle reports. Maybe I'll learn how to play the damn game. I got all these Stormcasts. I don't even know how to use them.
Yeah, so, but other than that, from what I've seen is, It's fairly easily numbered out of the sprues, and I really do actually very much enjoy the artwork and some of the updated imagery that they have in the core rule book. I think that whoever was the artist responsible for both the line drawing and the coloration of the Abaddon versus the woman on the cover, brilliant. But
you, I mean, you've actually gone through the figs, you messed them, and you like them?
yeah, there were a couple of parts where they need a little green stuff also. For me, I'm psycho, and we use a cement type plastic glue. So I put it in, and I just press really, really hard. And then
No gap.
And then a trick that Ben and Tina actually taught me is that once I'm done with that, I normally will take a line because we use
Tamiya Thin.
thank you, and it has a very small little brush, and I will run it along the seam so that when I'm done and this is all painted in, there's nothing there. I don't use green stuff terribly often. I'm starting to use it more because of my kit bashing with my girls. It is slightly necessary in some cases.
I want to get some green stuff rollers.
Oh, green stuff rollers, yes.
Yeah, I actually want to get a set of 3 of those. They've got a couple of deals going on, so I'm going to get a set of the 3. Tamiya, yes. Tamiya Extra Thin is... I was trying to tell her that, and she was like, well, it's really not big a difference, and I got her the bottle of it, and now she's like, we're never using testers again.
We have 2 different types. We have 2 testers bottles, and I use them just to use them up. We have talked about that, though, too.
Here's the problem with 3D printing rollers. I'm going to be honest with you. I looked at it.
Struts.
No, not struts. The problem is resin is a little fragile.
Oh, that's right.
I put too much pressure on that roller, and it could shatter. You drop that roller, it just shattered.
And there are some cases that we do not mind giving our money to online.
And it's the thing, I don't mind giving money to companies, especially
if they're reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, I'm almost done with the fringe.
Check the second bat. No, I didn't get a chance to watch yet. Unfortunately, like I said, with the job, I don't get a lot of time. I get Instagram because I can kind of scroll through that at work when I'm in between stuff. But like my amount of YouTube, I am so behind.
Between YouTube,
Hey, Zidane. Apologize if that's not Zane and you got accidentally dumped. Unfortunately, Zane gets a little excited at times. So my apologies. So Zidane, I do apologize for that. I thank you for coming back. On the other hand, yeah, I like the new Chaplin. Actually, I'm really...
I really like that picture I saw where somebody changed the head.
Yeah.
Well,
no, but that's not the Chaplin. That's the Judicar.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah. I like I said, I saw the paint you've done so far. Yeah, the Judicar. I like the Chaplin. I love the Judicar. I think the Judicar is just a really, really good figure. It just looks really impressive. So it's just one of those. It's one of those situations where I can't wait to get through my wolves, and I can't wait to get through these last couple of guys because I want to break into that box so bad. I have this really great color scheme. One of the things that I started on this, and I got distracted. I'm going to probably end up doing tutorials on it, or at least a paint with me type thing, because I don't think I'm the greatest painter in the world, but I'm a pretty good painter. And I want to spend, everybody knows I do speed painting. Like, I paint stuff quickly. I get it battle ready like that and get it on the table ready to go. I mean, but I don't want to do that with my Indominus box. I don't want to do that with my Celestial Dragons. I actually want to take my time, and part of me actually kind of wants to go nuts and go heavy metal style.
That's actually a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have said that they're not a big fan of the Judicar's actual head.
See, the funny thing is, I think it looks so cool. But I mean, I've seen so many different kit bashes. I've seen people replace it with the Primaris. What is it? Dark Angel hood.
One of my favorite kit bashes I have seen is everybody knows that the Ragnarok figure looks kind of ridiculous with his hands out like this, and you're like, oh, what is this? What is this? So I saw somebody kit bash, so he's standing there holding in his hand a Necron. Then I was like, oh, that's a good use for it. You should do something like that too, Jeff. Put something in his hand.
No, I like him like that. He's reaching like, you're just out of my grasp. I'm going to get my hand on you and I'm going to crush you.
As he's leaping sideways.
No.
Off the,
you know what? You leave Ragnar alone. Leave him alone.
Think it's a
Leave him alone.
pose.
I think he looks awesome.
I would love to have one of your brain doing something like that, in all honesty, because her outfit, that skirt flowing out, it just calls for something like that. And boy, do I love the ethereal stern of her dropping down.
You know what's really cool about your ring? When her head just stays together.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that.
You leave my boo alone.
But anyway.
Yeah. I like the Judicar the way he is. Like I said, for my Celestial Dragons, I'm designing a custom paint job for them, and I'm going to do them. Well, the Judicar is going to be in all black, like the chaplain. I'm going to do them appropriately. Although when I do their librarian, the librarian will not look like an ultramarine. Don't care. He's not going to be blue.
Two-time tennis competition winner, Ragnar.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Ballard. Because it really does. It looks like he's coming in with a backswing.
He is. He's balancing himself because he's about to bring.
No, he's not bouncing shit. He's leaping. Now, I think that if he were angled down a little bit doing this, it would look like he's coming down on someone. But he's not. He's like this. With his legs turned to the side.
He's not. He's leaping. He's leaping. He's got a hand out there to catch himself, and he grabs the guy that he's about to put paint to with that sword.
Do you know what that figure almost reminds me of? That picture of Mary Jane that I think it was Scott Bell drew, or somebody drew, of her sitting on the couch. She's squatting on. Her feet are on the couch, and she's squatting down, and she's got her arms like this. But she's in one of the most unnatural positions ever, because they wanted to make her look like her boobies were all pushed together, and she's holding a cup of, in between her knees, she's got this cup of, yeah.
See, I don't,
as an artist,
as a person, I have done that in sword combat.
I am well aware of that, but I'm looking at that as an artist for dramaticness. It's too all over the place. Again, if the top of his body was slightly, because he looks like he's trying to come down at someone. The way his legs and hips are positioned, they're at an angle where it looks like he's coming down on someone. So if that were the case, he should have the front shoulder with the hand out should be partially down with the hand up, which it's not. It's straight out like this.
it's just before he leaves the surface.
Yeah, but
Is it-
again, you are arguing with an artist.
And you're arguing with a person that's done that physical pose, jumping at somebody. That's the moment just before he leaves.
Are they taller than you?
Is he taller than me? Yeah.
No. Was the person you were leaping at to grab taller than you?
Yes. Everybody's taller than me. I'm short as hell.
He really is.
Mhm.
The other problem I have is, like I said, it's because of where the action lines in this picture, in that figure, make no sense to me.
I love the pose. It's my figure. If you get yourself one and want to
I'm
repost,
shutting up now.
no,
Nope.
that's fair. Yeah, what the neat thing is, because I'm doing my guys as an Iron Hand successor, I want to get Iron Father Fearos and use him as a Tech Marine. And then, yeah, I will have the one arm being red. Interestingly enough,
We don't know how to use Idea Maker. I am not saying that his model isn't a badass in any way, shape, or form. I am saying
as an
that
artist,
artists-
she's not the way she would have posed it.
No, it just doesn't seem like he's posed correctly to me. But that's just me.
There's a lot of people that complain about his pose. Honestly,
But see, here's the thing: is I do see your argument. Now, if he's fighting against an orc, which is what that was originally designed for, then it would make sense why he's leaping up.
yeah, he's jumping up to attack Asgul.
So that would make sense to me. However, again, it's a very dynamic figure. It really is. And that's one of the things that I've been really enjoying about a lot of the new figures that they've been bringing out is they have these beautiful
Phoenix.
dynamics, figures, and just these actions. And when painted right, they have these beautiful flowing lines. Like you're just waiting for them to shift to the next position in the sequence.
My thing is that since I'm going to be using an Iron Hand's successor army, I can actually use Iron Father Fearos as Iron Father Fearos. And so,
Does that mean that technically I could use Tashawn?
yeah, you could. You're using what's her name? You're using what's his name? You're using you're using Adrex Agatone. You just put a different head on.
And I agree. Zidane.
Zidane.
Zidane. I know that name.
Mm-hmm.
Just not spelled that way.
They
There was
could
an
have.
E at the end last time I saw it. I agree. I think that would have been really cool. And I would love it if they did something like that on a larger scale. One of the, like, you know, when they're
Yeah, I know. They haven't done.
like they did with the third, during 30K with the Primarchs, how they had those combinable where you could set them in.
They only had one base like that.
And that was the.
Ragnar and Magnus. They did a Ragnar.
Completely weird on this. That's actually not what I was thinking about. I was actually thinking about a Final Fantasy VII character or a Final Fantasy IX character.
Mm-hmm.
Zidane, the little thief. But as a painter, I'm very much about dynamic shifts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, don't get me wrong. These guys are freaking cool because even though they're not dynamic, they look like they're just ready to your world up. And I think that's so cool.
I need the green stuff rolled blue.
That is not yellow.
I have a very. This is a custode. This is specifically a guardian, one of their elite choices, with the green stuff rolled blue. With the axe I forget the Guardian Axe, and Misericordia.
Very cool.
I have a squad of 3 of them. I have 1 done. I'm just finishing up these 2. I just got to do the power effect on their axe head and their Misericordia, and they will be done. I got to seal them, but then they'll be done. Because my paint job with them is super simple. Honestly, I almost kind of cheated with them, but I really wanted to do very basic with them. They're basically just I used Tester's Gold. I gave them a base coat in the Tester's Gold. I painted the stuff that I wanted to be red. I washed it all in Army Painter Strong Tone. Do some highlights, and then go back into things that I want to make power effects. I paint them bright silver, and then do the power effects over the top of that using a couple different layers of inks. And that's literally it. They're just that simple. They also have all custom bases. I did this marbling effect on tile that I did I put Aquila in the floor piece, and then I give them a bright blue ring just because I wanted them to stand out, and that's it.
I has this.
She took Adrex Agatone, gave him a different backpack, and put a girl head on her.
There's also a couple of parts of his armor I actually did completely away with, and I removed a lot of the skulls that were on him as well, to show that this is not him.
And she actually took I was building a Blood Bowl team, she took one of the extra pieces of hair I had and attached it to the head of the girl.
Using a small piece of green stuff actually to make a bun that holds her hair in. Yes, I have female Marines.
Yes, this started off as Adrex Agatone, but she put a female head and hair and then did some custom work on it.
The lore between my group is
they're Salamanders.
The whole lore with my Salamanders group, which I'll go into more detail with, is that the Salamanders only have 7 companies. So the idea is that once upon a time there was an 8th company that went missing. They had found a world that was too irradiated and basically was mimicking that of a small sun, but its 5 moons were able to maintain life. So they decided, oh, well, these guys are kind of backwards medieval, and as the Salamanders are, you guys are not protected. We shall protect you. So the 8th company stuck around and then got swallowed by a Nexus. Years have passed and they've come back. Well, the problem is the first 3 moons, for whatever reason, the radiation that comes off the planet, men can't, for whatever reason, it has an adverse effect on the male gene. So
chromosomes, when they're babies.
Chromosomes, so they can't have male children. They're always female. They're always born female. And the salamanders that were stationed there were gradually weakened. And some of them did die. So, but because this group has heard about the glory of the emperor and his, protection, and these sons of Vulcan have been so wonderful that they took up the fallen Marines' armor in their places. The last 2 planets can birth, or the last 2 moons of the 5 can sustain healthy males. So there are some men, and so the entire the new 8th company, which will become the first company of my successor chapter, called the Emerald Geas, is mostly made up of those who survived and the females that took their place, because these girls are not little girls. And when they reconnected with the rest of the empire, those girls found out about the Primaris project and went, well, we're in. Will it make us better to be able to protect and serve the emperor? Well, yeah. All right, we're in. One of the things that they don't do, though, is they don't talk very often. Typically, they when they meet people that are new, their forge master, who is second in command, who is a veteran salamander from the 8th Company, he does all the talking for them, because they were taught that even though these women are mighty warriors with the hearts of, they are the true daughters of Vulcan, many of the chapters will look down on them because they are, in fact, females. I haven't decided what their battle sign is actually going to be. The Emerald Aegeus, when I do the videos, you guys will get a lot more on this, but Emerald Aegeus is actually based on a guild I had in a game called Rift. Their job was they were the bulwark. They were the protectors of the people. And how it became Emerald, I'm not really sure. I think it's because we got the green armor looks really bright.
I know how they got the name Emerald Aegeus.
I know you were the one who posted it, because they were originally the Order of the White Rose.
Right. And I said, let's go with something completely different. And I proposed a color scheme and that name.
Yeah.
Because
So
I hated the color scheme they were using before that.
it was white and black. They were the White Rose. What do you expect?
And this blue. This hideous blue.
Well, that's because that was the only blue available at the time.
It was awful.
For those of you who have never played Rift, you could dye your armor. So you can make your armor look like anything you want. So when I made these guys, the idea of doing them as an homage to this guild that I loved, that I poured my heart and soul to until I got tired of the game and I ran into a couple of trolls, and that was that. I thought, okay, well, salamanders, green. So they don't have the traditional salamander green, they have an emerald green. It's much brighter color, but their colors are going to be the same as my Emerald Aegeus. Green, white, with gold highlights. So that's where that comes from. And I'm also combining them a little bit with two other things two other stories that I was part of. One is one I'm actually writing right now. So this is Discala of House Aerith. Her name is based very heavily on a character that I created, whose name was Aerith Shala, by the way. And I'm combining my Exalted campaign that he ran for a while, where I'm taking a lot of those characters and bringing them over and putting them in specific roles. So
when she builds her Psyker, her librarian, that's going to be
Onasir. She's Onasir of the stars. Onasir with tears like stars. Why is she called that? Because she leaves as many tears as there are stars from her victims in her wake. That was a fun character. She was my Twilight. She had a small quirk, a little glitch, where if she saw suffering and my limit break went off, she had to do anything and everything within her power, which is very impressive, to make the suffering stop, up to and including annihilation.
And I have a ton of stuff on my crusade. I'm not going to go into it here. I've talked about it in my
Each of us are
when we do the video, because we're doing a Building the Crusade series. We're going to talk about it and talk about our methodology for figure building. That's when I'm going to crack open my Anonymous box. I'll start taping that for when I'm working on my crusade.
So that's why none of my guys are painted yet.
I do know
that purple will be involved.
Will not be involved. The bottle of P3 I bought, I'm not going to be using. Because originally I do them in purple.
It's a really cool concept, Zane, for my guys to not wear shoes. However, they came from depending on which world they're from, it depends on.
Yeah, they wear shoes. They're Marines. Don't be. She likes the clinky sound.
That and
She loves it. Don't let her lie. She loves the clanky sound. When I put on the Astartes the first time,
I found out how to make that sound in a pair of boots,
the
man.
first time I put on the Astartes, she was like, "Oh," just from the sound of walking. She was impressed by the walking sound, which is cool, but
Well,
it gave her a better impression of the Marines. Seeing Marines
it was
move.
real. Okay, so that and there's a video game I think where there's a cut scene in it with Kata Sicarius moving through a battle, fighting with just his sword. And the first time I ever saw that, I was like, "Holy jeez, they move like water."
Yeah.
Because they're so big and so bulky. I would have thought that armor would be clunky as crap. And I'm watching it and I'm like, it moves like it's fabric across them.
Because they're wired into it and it's power armor.
And I didn't know that. And then somebody showed me this really cool picture of, first it was the Marine standing, he's just got a pair of like bike shorts on. And you can see, because I've always seen Marines with like the ports and stuff like that in the back of their head, or they've got wires coming off the back of their head. And yes, I did see Hell's Reach. That was so cool, man. Oh, jeez. I can't stand first-person shooters. I will probably never play it. But holy jeez, that was really impressive. Anyway, and then someone, because I was always trying to figure out what's this black thing that you can see in the opening, like on the sides of the Marines and stuff like that. And they've got this almost like fiber optic bodysuit.
It's the undersuit. It's the subsuit.
That allows them.
Yeah, no, Hell's Reach is a fan movie.
Oh, was that one that I had to turn off because it was pissing me off?
I don't remember.
The one with the.
No, that's No,
Sorry, I was thinking Hell's Reach is the new game that they're bringing out.
Right. No,
So
I don't remember. Hell's Reach is the one.
Where they go into the warp?
Yeah, there's one where they're in the warp, and she really didn't like that one.
It was a little too grimdark for me.
Oh no, that's not that one. I don't think we have watched
No,
it.
I don't think I've seen Hell's Reach. I'll have to look that one up. Anyway, but it was just really cool, and then finally realizing exactly, having seen it and actually getting that exactly what the armor is, because whenever I see people do cosplay of it, it's always very bulky and they're just kind of like dunk, dunk, dunk. And since then, I've been looking at it going, I could make this using Ava Phone or Warbler.
Yeah, you got to see the guy that just made a suit of ultramarine armor.
Mm-hmm.
He works in the aerospace industry.
Oh, cool.
So he made the shoulder joints using technology. Using technology they're using for next generation space suits. So he's got full rotation with the arms.
Yeah.
And it's
so my
crazy.
idea was to build an actual bodysuit, cat suit, and then have it in such a way that the armor pieces, instead of being like the chest plate, instead of it being like, a lot of times when I see it done in the chest plate, one comes out to here, but it's not adhered to anything. So when they walk, it just kind of goes flap, 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 like a pair of saggy boots. And I was like, So we have really thick Warbler at my work, because I work at a craft store. And we also have Ava Phone, that is a cheaper subset of Warbler. Warbler is the good stuff. That I'm going with the right bodysuit and stuff.
There's a couple ways.
You could get it so it actually sticks and sectional pieces just like their actual armor is, and you would still be able to.
The biggest problem with doing cosplay of Space Marines is you can't make actual power armor. So you're always going to have a little bit of it's not as crazy mobile because you can't do all the joints the same way.
Whereas if I decide to do a sister's cosplay, oh yes, I will have full mobility. I just won't be able to slouch. There's been some talk about trying to put together a witch suit for me that the witches use. Just belly will be covered. So it'll be more like your brains.
See, I want a suit of Terminator armor. That way, all you see is the head. and just I can sit there. I already know. I've been working on.
Yeah, we're nerds.
Yeah, we're nerds, and we are cosplayers. Pencha don't wear shoes.
Well, neither does Hesperex.
Lilith Hesperex.
Does not wear shoes, but that's because she uses her feet to grip because she's got claws.
No, it's because she's got. They can say what they want about calling us monkey, but elves have monkey toes. They're almost hand-like feet.
Well, hers are. Hers are not. Your brains and the rest of them do. No, it's very specifically Hesperex. She's been experimented on. That's why she can use her hair as a net.
I saw a recent piece of art with some interesting pressures. Are really cool.
Yeah, it does seem like their gloves tend to restrict hand motions. Of course, I would absolutely love to draw a Marine that's just doing okay. I'm going to do the UK version of it because we are Americans, so it actually means something to American viewers. To my UK viewers, I apologize, but I just want to see a Marine going like this. I may have to do that with one of my Instagram. So I also, this is on my list to do. I have a series of pictures I want to do, like their Instagram posts. Like a group of Black Templars that are all, doing they've got the helmets on, but they're doing the I'm cute, facial goes out with the boys, looking for something to do, might go purging, who knows.
Well, that's the thing. The couple ways I've seen it done, I've seen them use hockey gloves and then armor them up, and that way you have fingers underneath the armor. I've drawn up plan. She's seen the way I've drawn up the plans. I was doing for our steampunk, I was building a huge replacement arm for one arm, and there's a way that I've figured out and did some test pieces on where you have a mechanical hand. Basically, it moves with your hand. And then you can have the hand out, and that would do that to do a power fist. So you have a big old, which is why I want to do the Terminator armor. Because if you look at Terminator arms, they are short. They're short and stubby. I am short and stubby. Yeah, actually, there was a pair of Hulk gloves that I took apart to see how the mechanics worked on them, and they were pretty cool.
There's a it's old now TV show called Steven Universe. One of the characters has prosthetic extensions that you don't realize. Her hands and her from her elbow down and her knees down are or actually these prosthetic extenders because it makes it look like she's they're normal. The character's actually freaking short. Her name is Peridot, and Angelina wants to make something like that.
Cool.
So, and I'm like, it's actually going to be that difficult to make. Yes, Peridot's character. That is my youngest birthstone. And man, does she like that character. Actually, no, her birthstone is not a Peridot. Her birthstone is the Aquamarine. I am not dressing her like an Aquamarine.
She wants to be Peridot. Good.
Night, loves.
All right.
Should probably also say our good night.
We're at the 2 hour mark. Yeah, we gotta go to bed. I gotta go to work in the morning.
Yeah, it's
you gotta draw tomorrow.
Yes.
So that being said, we're gonna give quick shout outs to all our lovely, crazy, and wonderful Patreons before we get rid of the night. So we're gonna start off with our Battle Brother tier.
That is Inquisitor Zane.
Yes.
And Mini Warmud?
Mini Warmud. Ding, ding, ding. 2 for 2.
Okay. So
now we're at our Battle Leader tier, of which there are 3.
And these 3 are so kind they give us $3 a month, which gives them unlimited access to our Discord. Those are
Joe Bookish. Very good.
Not Heinrich.
Heinrich
I
Botha.
wonder if he was a
And
Meeks.
that sexy man, Australian Jesus.
Oh,
Kaiju Shorts.
Kaiju. Sorry, Kaiju. I'm always gonna love after you. It's just always
And last we have our 4 Warlord tier Patreons.
The first one of those I do know is our dear Smash Captain, who's coming in from a high orbit planet.
And has already
named
abandoned us for the night.
Yeah, the Commodore. Number 2 is the myth, the legend himself, the master modeler, Mr. Alex Drake, my brother-in-law. Ha, 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 ha.
Okay.
Then we have, she's beautiful, she's intelligent, she's a triple threat, brains of bronze and beauty. Are my sweet niece by marriage, Light of the Phoenix. And then the last one is the ultimate Smash Captain.
She remembered Meeks. Meeks.
Don't you fucking say it. I try to be supportive of you until you start being a goober.
So that being said, thank you so much, everybody, for enjoying the site to us. If you have not rung that bell, ring that bell.
If you found us at all entertaining, please lick that like button.
Let us know, because that lets YouTube know that I'm doing a pretty good job for you and that you are enjoying this content. Hit that bell button, as you never know when we're going to do this again. Normally we do Tuesdays. We had to cancel Tuesdays, so we'll make up for it. We're going to do it today.
And we do try to do at least
I try to do
2.
at least a second one during the weekend if I don't do a tutorial, because we just want to be able to produce.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, we want to just be able to produce really good stuff for you, the community. As you can tell, we both love 40K.
We love nerdom in general.
In general. So you'll never know what we're going to talk about. You never know what crazy we're going to talk about. We start on 40K, but we never get stuck there. At any random time, you can find us talking about and doing art about lots of different things. Check us out on Instagram. I'm the GameCraft Dragon. She is Lady Dragon 28.
_28. Very
Lady
specifically.
_Dragon 28.
Yep.
And we want to thank you so much. And remember, guys,
if you got any suggestions for future content that you would like to see us do, ideas for any projects that you would like to see us try and puzzle out, or just questions in general for either of us, please put it in the comments below.
we do read them. We read them all the time. Anything that gets said, I will comment back and let you know what I hear, what I see, and what I think. I am free with the multitudes that are in my mind. Remember, folks, epic your board
Happy your life.
and epic your game.
Game
We're
on.
the GameCraft Dragons. Thank you for being with us.
I'm gonna go back to that. This